Hi there. Today we're doing lesson 25. I do not know what anything is for. Purpose is meaning. Today's idea explains why nothing you see means anything. Very, very key lesson here. You do not know what it is for. Therefore, it is meaningless to you. Everything is for your own best interest. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It is in recognizing this that your goals become unified. It is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. So the reason this is really important is because until we get that everything without exception, this is why it becomes a unified goal. Everything without exception is for our own best interest. It is in recognizing this that our goals become unified. What this is trying to tell us is that when we see that everything in the world is for our own best interest, it's an opportunity for us to recognize that we can choose to be the presence of love or fear. Everything becomes a mirror for us. That is why it is in our best interest. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It's a reflection of us. When we recognize that, our goal becomes unified because now, instead of there being some good things and bad things, some things that are right, some things that are wrong, some things that I like or don't like, some things that are higher in order or lower, some things that are just in many ways better or in other ways lesser. When we make everything the same and a reflection of who we are, now everything is for our best interest. Do you see how exciting this gets? Paragraph number 2. You perceive the world and everything in it as meaningful in terms of ego goals. Everything that we look around has been given a meaning according to the ego's goals. These goals have nothing to do with your own best interest because the ego is not you. Ego is thoughts and beliefs that we have about ourselves that are not true. So how can thoughts that are not true have our best interests at heart? It is impossible. This false identification makes you incapable of understanding what anything is for. This false identification with a thought system that is totally, completely opposed to what we are. Not only is it opposed to what we are, opposite to what we are, but it also blocks what we are. So as a result, you are bound to misuse it, misuse the meaning of things. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world instead of attempting to reinforce them. So let me read this again. Paragraph 2, you perceive the world and everything in it as meaningful in terms of ego goals. These goals have nothing to do with your own best interest because the ego is not you. This false identification makes you incapable of understanding what anything is for. As a result, you are bound to misuse it. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world instead of attempting to reinforce them. Paragraph 3. Another way of describing the goals you now perceive is to say that they are all concerned with personal interests. Since you have no personal interests, your goals are really concerned with nothing. In cherishing them, therefore, you have no goals at all, and thus you do not know what anything is for. Key paragraph. Let me break this down for you. Another way of describing the goals you now perceive is to say that they are all concerned with personal interests. Personal is in quotation marks. Personal because it's about me. It all has to do with my persona, my personality, my separate sense of self according to the ego. Since you have no personal interest, your goals are really concerned with nothing. Because we're part of a collective, we're part of the one mind of God. We are all one. There's only one of us here projecting ourselves out on everything else. Because there's only one of us here, there is no personal self. There is only the collective. All of us are part of this magnificent essence that is the creator. So when we are concerned with just me, this is what the ego does. We're really concerned with nothing because there is no such thing as a separate sense of me. Well, there's no such thing as a separate me. There's just a sense of a separate me, and that's what forms our ego. So, sentence number 3 in paragraph 3, in cherishing them, those goals, ego goals, personal interest, therefore you have no goals at all, and thus you do not know what anything is for. Because as we're chasing only what makes me feel good, what is best for me, we really don't have a goal that is meaningful at all. Paragraph 4, before you can make any sense out of the exercises today, one more thought is necessary. At the most superficial levels, you do recognize purpose. Yet purpose cannot be understood at these levels. For example, you do understand that a telephone is for the purpose of talking to someone who is not physically in the immediate vicinity. What you do not understand is what you want to reach him for. And it is this that makes your contact with him meaningful or not. So when we pick up the phone, we think that we're calling somebody to invite them out to lunch, or we're calling somebody to tell them I'm going to break up with you, or we're calling somebody to blast them for something that they didn't do, or we're calling them just because it's a friend. But the meaning of everything is to reflect back to us how we are showing up. Let me read to you what the meaning of everything is. Everything is for your own best interest. So how can it be in your own best interest to blast somebody? How can it be in your own best interest to just be scheduling appointments without a purpose behind it, a true purpose, a meaning that is in your best interest? And if it's in your best interest, it always has to be in their best interest. Why? Because it's all one. So let me give you a quick example. When you pick up the phone and you talk to somebody and you recognize that you're speaking to yourself, and as the Course in Miracles says, everything is love or a call for love. When you call them, are you calling love? Are you saying, hey, love, how are you doing? Are you interested in what's going on with them? Do you really care? Are you calling with compassion? Or are you calling to let them know the problems that you have, or the issues that need to be fixed, or the things that they did that made things worse for you, or whatever it is about them that you don't like? That's not a call for love. That's a call to blast them. So this is a very simple example with this phone. But everything is one. Everything is a reflection of who you are. And if you're seeing something other than love, you're operating with the ego, which is a false identity and is only concerned with the personal self, not the divine self that we are. Let's go to paragraph 5. It is crucial to your learning to be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. It doesn't say for some things. It says for everything. It is crucial to your learning. That means to your mastery. That means to your awakening. To be willing to give up the goals that you have established for everything. This is time for us to let go of everything that we believe about the world so we can begin to receive the truth that is true always. Because until we know the truth, we won't really know what is real and can't be threatened. Otherwise, we operate from a limited sense of self that is constantly on the defense because we believe that our self, our separate sense of self, our personality, our ego idea of who we are can be threatened. All right, so sentence number 2, paragraph 5. The recognition that they are meaningless. This is the goals that we have established. Rather than good or bad is the only way to accomplish this. The idea for today is a step in this direction. So instead of things being good or bad, we're just going to go to they have no meaning. Just no meaning. Father, what is the meaning here? We're going to begin to ask for what is the meaning in these things, because we need to go to the place that we decide that we don't know what the meaning of anything is, so we can stop thinking with our ego, perceiving with our ego. Paragraph 6. 6 practice periods, each of 2-minute duration, are required. Each practice period should be given with a slow repetition of the idea for today, followed by looking about you and letting your glance rest on whatever happens to catch your eye, near or far, important or unimportant, human or non-human, with your eyes resting on each subject you so select. Say, for example, I do not know what this chair is for. I do not know what this pencil is for. I do not know what this hand is for. I do not know what this lamp is for. I do not know what those shelves are for. I do not know what my puppy is for. Paragraph 7. Say this quite slowly without shifting your eyes from the subject until you have completed the statement about it. Then move on to the next subject and apply today's idea as before. I do not know what anything is for is a very powerful lesson. Please read it a couple of times so you give yourself the gift of a very foundational principle that is being shared here. And that is, I'll read it again. Everything is for your own best interest. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It is in recognizing this that your goals become unified. It is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. Thanks a bunch and have a great day.